Welcome back to your favorite Sacramento sports show.
Beam City Sports.
We are back at the Beam City Sports Bar. I got my boys Luke, Devin, and Jackson all with me today. How are we all feeling?
I'm feeling good. It's a beautiful evening here in Sacramento. Beautiful evening right here in this backyard at this beautiful bar. Ready to get into it.
Yes, sir. Dev, how you feeling over there?
Very glad the Pacers forced a Game 7. I'm excited for that tomorrow. I got, open schedule, nothing to do, so I'm ready for the Pacers to win the finals.
Yes, sir.
Lucky guy. Jackson, how are you feeling?
Feel great. Game 7, dude.
Game 7
happened since we were in 8th grade. It's
been
in
a
the
long
finals. Man,
It's crazy.
looking forward to it.
Well, the Pacers did win Game 6, so we'll start out with that. The Pacers, man, forcing a Game 7. Love to see it. I've been calling it since the series started. I said Pacers in 7. No one else really thought the Pacers had a chance, but hey, look at us now. Pacers are forcing a Game 7. Also, the NBA draft is on Wednesday. This quick after the NBA Finals is over, the draft is already going to be on Wednesday, so expect a lot of changes coming before Wednesday, on Wednesday. It's going to get crazy.
A lot of trades.
Yeah.
A lot of trades.
A lot of reports say that all the trades of this offseason are going to happen during the draft.
Yeah.
So expect a big day.
I believe that. And I don't know if it's just me, but I feel like this is the quickest it's jumped from the finals to the draft. Personally, I feel like the NBA didn't think that they were going to go to 7. It was like, let's wrap this up quick. Let's get it done.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's going to 7. And I mean, like you were complaining like this past Wednesday, Desmond Bain getting traded earlier. I love it. I love this early action. It adds more drama, adds more fuel to the fire. So it's going to be an exciting week of basketball news coming up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
On the draft, though, how you feeling going into Wednesday?
We don't have a first rounder, but I really don't know what's going to happen. I mean, there's a lot of talks with, like, the Jazz still, right? But that Walker Kessler thing just reminds me of Miles Turner the last few years.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But I think if there is a trade for a center, it's going to happen with, like, either at the draft or around that.
Yeah, for sure. Wednesday will be a big day, and Sunday, Game 7, when this comes out, tomorrow morning, Game 7 will be later in the day, so we got to give our predictions for who we think is going to win Game 7. I know where I'm going with it. But yeah, we'll also get into some trade ideas for our Sacramento Kings at the end of the show, and then we'll also be grading each NBA Finals of the past 10 years to see, where each year ranks in the, in our own opinions. The last 10 years have been a crazy last 10 years, but this might be up there already.
Oh,
going to Game 7.
The whole playoffs in general before this finals kind of adds to it too. Like, I know that's not going to be part of the ranking system, but I'm going to put that a part of it because this finals has been one of the more entertaining finals to me. I don't know if it's just because I've been paying attention more to like every team and everything going down, but it's very it makes me happy that the NBA has turned around from the last few years of a lot of us complaining about how things have been going down.
Yeah.
And getting Indiana to Game 7, OKC, both teams that have never won an NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It's coming down to it, one more game, and some history is going to be made no matter what.
No matter what, history will be made tomorrow, which is crazy to think about. But yeah, Game 6 was a crazy one. The Thunder jumped out to a 10-2 lead, and seeing that, I got a little scared. The Thunder looked ready to play from the get, and then the Pacers turned it on, man. They never looked back. After that run in the first quarter, they kept the lead the rest of the game, and, shout out to Haliburton, man. Came out aggressive. Only 14 points, but those 14 definitely mattered, and it felt like he had 35, in my opinion. He did get taken out, didn't play the entire fourth quarter because it was a 30-point game, but 14 points from Haliburton doesn't sound like a lot, but it sure felt like it meant the most for this Pacer team.
Best case scenario for him, too, with the calf strain.
Yeah.
Because he only played, 24 minutes, I think? 28 minutes. And then he has 2 days off, so he can just get treatment for it, nonstop. It'll be really interesting tomorrow, though. And if I'm the Thunder, I'm making him try to score, honestly. Because if you do that, we saw what happened with KD in 2019. Not trying to put that out there.
Yeah.
But a calf strain is no joke.
It's not.
That usually leads if you don't take, the right precautions with it.
Yeah, for sure. And this Pacer team is just a completely different team when Tyrese is being aggressive. When he's not looking to score, they're a lot easier to guard. But when he's being aggressive, he actually had some left-handed shots this game. Got to give him some props.
Couple of them.
Not one field goal made going to his
chart.
left. The whole finals until last game where he hit a left-hand floater and also hit some shots going to his left. He was talking to the crowd showing his left hand, so I love to see it.
He was talking to you.
Yeah, he was talking to you. The shot chart didn't lie, though.
It was no shade going towards Tyrese, but it was. I feel like he definitely saw that talk of the left hand. He's like, I got it.
It was immediately after, like, you sent the message to, I just got home, and you were like, he went left, but shot with his right. And I'm like, the game's on. I got to get the game on real quick. And then I saw those couple. I feel like they were right after, too. So he heard you, and then he felt that text message. He was like, oh, nah.
Yeah.
It's bad.
He had to, put the haters on silent mode. Once again, Tyree seems like he has a knack for doing that, especially this playoff run. Anytime, some hate comes his way, he has a bad night, he's going to bounce back that next game. And he's going to perform to the best of his abilities. He's going to be aggressive. He's going to start going left. And he just likes, silencing the haters, which I love to see.
I mean, he did that immediately when the whole list came out for the most overrated, and he continued it throughout the whole playoffs. So hopefully, going into this Game 7, it's not like one of those, all right, he went off, he did a good job last game. Keep going into this Game 7. Like we said, it's a new series. Game 7 is a completely different vibe, completely different feel. Neither of these teams have been in this moment before.
Yeah.
Like, they've been in Game 7s before, but not like this.
Not like this.
It kind of felt like that's what the Thunder did a little bit. Like, once the Pacers made that run to get back after the 10-2 start, it was like, oh, all right. We got Game 7 to fall back on.
Yeah.
Which, could be dangerous, but, I mean, I don't know. It just seemed like they kind of quit, like, right after that first run, and they were like, all right, we'll just play this out. I think the starters came out kind of early, in late third, kind of before the fourth. So, I mean, it seemed like they knew they had a Game 7 to fall back on, but I just felt like it was kind of quit, like, after the first round.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I did want to say, like, you brought up the 10-2 run in the first quarter for the Thunder. Mm-hmm. That 10-2 run was, like, one of the most sloppiest runs that I mean, it didn't look pure because the Pacers were running back and forth, the Thunder were running back and forth. It was a long 10-2 run, and then immediately Nembhard hit a three. I forgot who else hit a three, but it was right back into it. The Pacers took it, and then they took the lead, and like you said, didn't look back.
Yeah.
So even with that 10-2 run, the Pacers still looked in control with the whole thing, and they were running circles around him at the end of the game.
They definitely were. How are you feeling?
Game 7, you look at the last three that have happened, right? Since 2010, you had Warriors, Cavs.
Cavs.
You had the Spurs, Heat, and then you had Lakers, Celtics, right? Every single one of those Game 7s, when you look at the players producing, it's always some random role player.
Always.
Shane Battier hit, I think, like 5 threes in that Game 7, 2013.
Shout out Shane Battier.
Right?
Shout out Shane.
And then 2016, they didn't win, but Draymond had 32 and 15 and 7 or something.
Man.
He never touched that again in his career.
No, that was insane.
Best game of Draymond's career.
And then
that Game 7.
2010, you had Ron Artest making the big time shot fourth. Kobe was like 6 for 20.
Yeah. He passed me the ball.
Exactly.
He gave me a chance.
So with this, it's like, I feel like all eyes are on guys like Caruso, Dort, Miles Turner, and honestly Chet too. The two bigs have been awful.
They have.
Chet has not been.
He's shooting 11% from three.
I was going to talk about Chet a little bit later, but I mean, if we're going to talk about it now, Chet is 24 for 68 in the finals, shooting a cool 35% right now. I was expecting way more production from this dude.
Turner's only shooting 37.
Turner's not doing good.
Really bad.
So it's a fair trade-off right there. Luckily for both of the teams, but he gets his shots up too. He's averaging close to 10 shots a game, pretty much the whole series.
He's not making them.
He's not making them, and then also he tries to get his shots up, but I mean some of them are clean. For the other ones that he's going up and he's not getting a clean shot, he needs to look for a pass first because he doesn't average. He averages 2 assists this whole season, and then going into the playoffs, he's averaging less than that. So it's just, I know he's not that type of a player, but if you're not going to score the ball as much as you need to be doing, I mean, I know you have Shai and you have J-Dub and you have a couple of role players who will pop 3 threes in a game, 4 threes in a game. You don't need to be scoring as much, but Chet, you are the number 2, number 3 player on this team. You got to be averaging at least 10 and 10 as this big man down there.
I saw this video the other day, and it was like his pre-draft or when he was a rookie, right, in the summer league before his injury, where he didn't play his entire rookie year. His mechanics and everything jump shot wise looked entirely different. Like he had more lift on his shot. It looked a lot more fluid, and now it just looks a little more clunky. And I feel like that's, it's mainly because of the trainers over there in OKC.
He's also put on a little weight and muscle.
I also think because of the injuries, though. Those are 2 very freak accidents and, very traumatic injuries. One was towards, the foot, and that one was this huge procedure, kept on an entire year. And then the other one, he landed on his pelvis, and he broke his hip. Like those aren't like, oh, I strained my calf or something like that. You know, you come back from that pretty quick. The other ones, I think has some type of mental hurdle as well that he hasn't gotten over yet.
Yeah.
And he's just not fully all back.
Yeah. It does scare me a little bit, though, because going into Game 7, Luke, you've been saying it for a while, it's a whole new series, and that scares me because Chet has had a horrible series, but that doesn't mean Game 7, he can't hit 5 threes and be the X factor, and then everyone forgets about what he did the first 6 games of the series and will only remember the iconic Game 7. But on the other side, I believe in this Pacers team going into Game 7, they just never give up, and the one guy who leads the way in that category is TJ McConnell. He's been the MVP of the series for me, man. Every time he comes in, the Pacers go on a run. He's getting inbound steals. Seems like every game. Last game, he had 4 steals. Also had 9 rebounds. He's probably not even 6 feet tall. He had 9 rebounds. He just plays harder than everyone else on the floor, and that's someone that every team in the NBA is going to want. And I do think he's an Indiana Pacer for the rest of his career
100%.
after this run, and he'll probably get his jersey retired. Much deserved. You know, guys like Tony Allen and all those, you know, long role players that provide impact on winning teams get their jersey retired in places like
That's
that.
That's kind of you see that a lot with smaller market teams, is where they kind of take attachment to guys who just play hard, is because they appreciate it more. Like, they don't have a star.
Yeah.
They don't have. So if you're like just a role player playing hard, I mean, that's why we love guys like Jake LaRavia so much, and it's just because if. You know, no superstar is going to come here. So if you're playing if you're playing hard and giving your 100 every night, guys are going to back you like that. And I think that's definitely what's happening with McConnell. I agree. The Pacers aren't letting him go. No way they should either.
Yeah, he came in and made an immediate impact on the game. He was taking over in that second quarter. So after the 10-2 run that the Thunder started the game on, the Pacers outscored them by 30 the rest of the half. Led at half by 22 points. So that's a crazy turnaround for this Pacer team. And really all it took was Andrew Nembhard seeing 1-3 go in. And then the big night that I've been waiting for, Andrew Nembhard finally delivered. How many points did he have? He had 17 points, the most he's had all series. Been waiting on it, and he finally delivered. He's one of the most clutch players in the NBA.
I have that written. I have Tyler's been asking for it, and he got it. Nembhard had a great game shooting the ball. Everything was. I mean, he was in the spot every time he got his number called. He was in the spot, and he sank his three. It was all confidence. Didn't hesitate once when he was shooting.
Yeah, I need one more game like that, Andrew. I need one more. Give me one more,
and then
please.
Also, you said role players play 100% better when they are at home.
They do.
The role players won this game for the Pacers.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Again, they only had one person in 20-point figures. That was Obi Toppin.
Obi Toppin off the bench.
6 people in double figures, and Obi Toppin was off the bench with 20 points. Pascal not even at 20 after he did his little ritual thing.
Shout out to Pascal.
Dude, that was crazy.
Hey, I mean, I think it could be one of the. I mean, I think it's either going to be McConnell or Nembhard in Game 7. That, like, I mean, because as much as I was ripping Steven, and I don't want to agree with him, but after the show, I think it was him that he was like saying what you guys are saying, that Game 7, literally anything can happen, anybody can go off. So like any of these role players, I think it might be another, you know, low scoring Hallie and Pascal game to where these role players step up and have a big impact.
Yeah.
But also they're going to be in Indy or in OKC, right? So you got the OKC role players at home. Like, this might just be a battle of the role players.
I'm so scared of Aaron Wiggins in Game 7.
Yeah, he might have...
In OKC, this man Aaron Wiggins does not miss. It is actually crazy. But what were you going to say? Sorry.
Oh, nothing. I was just going to agree with you. It's going to be a battle back here. Back in OKC. I'm excited for it, though. What I also wanted to say, though, was the Pacers on their second chance points, 28 second chance points. They also killed them in the offensive rebound department. What was it? 11-4 in offensive rebounds. They got killed in the Eastern Conference Finals with Mitchell Robinson.
They did,
and they're turning around right now. Thankfully, like, Chet was a little bit lazy, and Hartenstein was, kind of lazy too. That's what I noticed in this game. They didn't get up as fast as they were this whole series, but you got to take advantage when you can, and they definitely did.
That's why I said they felt like they had a Game 7 to fall back on, is because they literally just were not trying out there, and it was like, I was watching the game up until halftime, and then the third quarter started, and I was like, they ain't gonna try, bro. I'm not gonna watch the game. Like, I don't. Pacers are winning. Like, so, and it's literally evidenced by what you just said. No hustle from Hartenstein and Chet. They were slow to get up. Probably looking for foul. I think Jalen Williams a little bit was looking for fouls, like a little bit more than he should. Even though I said that could be next level part to his game, I think he kind of just got caught up in that a little bit. Yeah. And they were trying to get bailed out, and then once they realized they there was nothing. They knew they had Game 7,
Yeah.
and it was just lazy from there.
Well, Luke, you brought up the rebounding in this game, but it was still no thanks to Miles Turner. He only had 3 points and 4 rebounds, went 1 of 9 from the field. But shout out to TJ McConnell with 9 rebounds and Pascal with 13. But that doesn't mean that Miles Turner cannot show up in Game 7. He's had a horrible series, and he's the longest tenured Pacer. He's going to be a Pacer for life. Expect a big game out of Miles Turner.
All you're
I'm betting the over on Miles Turner Game 7.
All you're going to do is get rebounds, just get double-digit rebounds, and if you're not going to score, bro, just keep them off the offensive glass.
His defense has been great.
His defense has been great. He's been blocking shots.
Yeah.
But
it's just everything else.
The rebounds, I'm not betting the over on the rebounds for Miles Turner. I'm predicting that Miles Turner will hit 4 threes in Game 7 because he's been so...
4 threes?
I'm saying 4 threes for Miles Turner. He's always open from the three-point line, and he usually can hit some. This series, he's been hesitant the whole series because he hasn't really hit as many as he's used to. So I'm expecting a big game out of the Pacer legend. If he wants, if he wants to be that Pacer for life and get paid that big bag, he's going to have to earn it in this Game 7, and I think he's going to do it.
I mean, your confidence is making me buy into it, but I've already placed my bet for the week, so I don't know if I can do it.
Well, I think Miles Turner is going to have a big game in Game 7 because he's, the longest tenured Pacer. He deserves it, and I think he's going to come ready to play.
I really hope he turns it up, and I hope he locks it down for these Indy fans. They deserve it for sure.
They do.
Not saying that the OKC fans don't deserve it any less. They've been through it, but I don't know. This the Pacers being there in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, and now in the finals, it's really beautiful to see this whole process happen right now.
It is. Well, the Pacers have, when the Pacers win games, it seems like they've kind of stolen OKC's identity. They've stopped full court pressing as much on Shai to give Andrew Nembhard a little more rest, pick him up at half court, and it's been working. Shai had 8 turnovers last game. The turnover battle in this game was really the story. The Thunder had 21 turnovers. The Pacers only had 10. Pacers had 22 fast break points, and the Thunder only had 11. Pacers with 16 steals, Thunder only 4. So they kind of stole OKC's identity in this game. Wrecking havoc on defense, pressuring guys, forcing them to turn the ball over. A lot of Shai's turnovers were kind of just lazy to me, though. It seemed like he just wasn't ready to play this game.
Exactly that. He was not ready at all. The Pacers were there. They knew it was a winner stay home, honestly. Like, they knew that it was just going to be them celebrating the Larry O'Brien trophy, and they would have been sitting in their locker room.
Yep, they said not on my court.
Him too, only like 8 free throws. I think the refs kind of just came out and they were like, we're not going to give anybody anything today. So and I think, Shai was another guy that kind of got caught up in that because he's so good at that. He should, maybe he should have got more calls. It is what it is, but I think that he was one of the guys. He's good at it, whatever. I'm over like hating on it, but I mean, shout out to the refs for having a game plan and sticking to it.
Because a lot of the times Shai was driving in this game, he would bump into guys and go off them, and I was expecting a whistle every time, and he wasn't getting it.
It's not a foul.
Yeah, it's not a foul. It's not a foul. He's been getting the call all series.
It's if the guy's if the defender gets into his way, in his direct path, then it's a foul. But a lot of times he initiates the contact, and bumps him, and then fades away. And I'm like, that's not.
It's not a foul.
I feel like
rule book wise, it's not a foul.
Whoever was on him too was doing a good job at just Nembhard and
shout out.
They were doing a good job at not doing what you're saying and just going and cutting him off, but just staying and beating him to the spot.
Yeah, that's what you got to do.
The thing is to take away from that is Shai wasn't getting the fouls, but he was making all of those shots. He went 7 for 15.
Yeah, that's not a bad night.
That's not a bad night.
15,
that's a great night shooting.
Only 21 points, though.
Yeah, only 20 because he didn't get those foul calls where he's expecting 12 free throws to get up to that 30-point mark there.
True.
So, we can see that in this game right here, he didn't get the calls that he was expecting, and he went down to 21 points. So, I will say that this is his lowest scoring game in the finals.
Playoffs?
It might be all playoffs.
In the playoffs,
I'm actually not sure. It's definitely,
I can figure that out
maybe a second or third.
It might be his lowest scoring game in the playoffs.
That's pretty crazy. Hopefully the Pacers defense can, build off that, and I think they have all the momentum, and none of the pressure's on the Pacers going into Game 7. I think OKC has all the pressure. Playing at home, losing Game 6. Like you said, Devin, they said, hey, we have Game 7 to fall back on. Let's pull our starters before the third quarter even ends. And I think it might come back to bite them.
I was thinking in the moment, I'm like, that's a dangerous way to play. The Warriors did something similar in the Rockets series that ended up working out for them.
Yeah.
But in that moment too, I was just like, that's scary to me. Like if I was a fan of the team, I'd be like, But yeah, I do agree with you. Like they're at home too, best team in the league. Like Pacers are really just playing with house money at this point.
Yeah, for sure. Well, going back to that second quarter really quick, TJ McConnell came in, obviously made a huge impact. Hallie hit a step back three, which was huge. And they played TJ McConnell and Haliburton at the same time, which I want to see more in Game 7. Hallie, I know you're hurt. I need 38 minutes or more in Game 7. It's winner go. It's winner takes it all. So you got to play your heart out. You got to play as many minutes as you physically can. But that led to the 17-2 run in the second quarter, and then Hallie started cooking. But we still haven't mentioned the no-look pass into the poster for Pascal. That was disgusting.
Insane.
Nasty. Sent J-Dub, took his soul. You could see after he got dunked on, he was looking, not ready.
That's how
that was a huge play.
Sorry, before we get too far,
momentum.
he has only had 2 games below 20 points this playoffs. First one was against Memphis. He scored 15 points against Memphis in one game.
They probably blew him out.
And then against Denver, he scored 18 points.
So yeah, that's his third lowest scoring game this whole playoffs.
They did win that first game, 131-80. He scored 16 points, but they lost against Denver, 113-104.
Okay, that makes sense. Going back, Pascal hit the fadeaway to end the second quarter, end the half. It was 36-17 just in the second quarter. Pacers outscored. So that buzzer beater was big to end the half. Also, Ben Shepherd, buzzer beater to end the third quarter to make it a 30-point game. That was huge.
There's going to be one role player that's going to hit 2 or 3 threes in a row, and I think it's probably going to be him or Isaiah Joe.
You're betting on Ben Shepherd?
Ben Shepherd or Isaiah Joe is going to be the one that's going to change the tide of the game.
Okay, that would be big.
I hope I see something like
how,
that. I really hope I do.
Like JR in 2016.
That 2016 was crazy. Rick Carlisle, before we move on, is the oldest coach in NBA Finals history.
Shout out.
Also, if he wins this Finals, he could have the 2 greatest Finals runs of all time being a head coach. The Mavericks, beating LeBron in Miami, and then this one, where no one expected the Pacers
to
make
it
their
to them if they win.
Core 4 guys on that team was an average age of 33.
On Dallas?
Yeah.
Hey, that's pretty
and
crazy.
they play many men when the announcer says his name after the lineup.
Tough. Those starting lineups were probably the best I've seen in the finals. I saw a video, a Lakers fan actually posted a Lakers fan page, and it was comparing the walkouts, the starting lineups that the Pacers had for Game 6, and then it was Game 7 starting lineups in LA when, Kobe, Ron Artest, all those guys. But the music for me is what really made it so much more hype, because every player picked their own song, and then when Haliburton came on, what the hell? And then Rick Carlisle with that gave me chills. Actually before the game started, and that's what we've been asking for from this finals is give us some moments like that, and they finally
delivered
on a couple. Still not perfect,
it's
but
not. I mean, it's kind of tailor made for us. It's just
Shout out
kinda, it's just it's. We asked for it. They're like, all right, here you go.
Yeah.
We're gonna give we bring back the actual
should never have
moments.
been
It's kind of forced.
We shouldn't have to ask for it.
It's all forced right now. I feel like. I mean, I'm just glad there's good basketball to come up with it too.
Yeah, for sure. We could still jump on the Pacers. They're the first team to have 8 players with 200 or more points in a single postseason.
Insane.
8 players with
That's
more.
That's kind of insane.
And they're the first team off the bench to have 3 players score over 200 points, which is, can you guess those 3 guys? I mean, come on. You know 2 of them. TJ leading the way.
Benedict Mathurin.
And Obi. Shout out to those 3 guys off the bench, man. First team to have guys off the bench score 200 or more since 1971. I don't even know if we count that.
Wait.
I'm not counting 1971.
What team was that, bro?
Shout out to Tyler Hero. Nothing really existed
They were
before.
part of the ABA, I'm pretty sure.
That
was the ABA.
I don't even know what team
71.
it was. 71.
That was the ABA.
Jackson knows. Who won the finals that year?
The Knicks? No.
That's crazy.
Well, that was before the league merger, right?
Yeah.
I don't know when that was.
Yeah.
It was 72
Lakers were
or 72. Was when they merged.
Oh, that was before.
Man, I don't even know if they had
75. 75, I think they merged,
It's
actually.
either the Bucks or the Knicks in 71.
I know the Bucks won it in that time period.
70.
Yeah, well, going over this series, just, a recap of the series before we give our official Game 7 predictions. Game 1, Haliburton hit the game winner. Huge comeback from Indiana. Game 2, Caruso and Aaron Wiggins stepped up huge. It was all the role players for OKC. Tied it up at 1-1. Then in Game 3, Benedict Mathurin came out huge and led the way for the Pacers, put the Pacers up 2-1. Then Game 4, Shai delivered in the clutch with that 35 performance and hit every clutch shot, 15 points in a row in the fourth quarter. And then Game 5, J-Dub took over with the 40-piece. I didn't expect him to have 40 in this finals, but hey, he did it. And then Game 6, we saw Pacers dominate to force Game 7. So, Jackson, I'm starting with you. Who you going Game 7? Official predictions. Put your money on it.
Thunder.
No, come on. So you think Isaiah Joe is going to be the one to hit those threes?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
It's so, like, from a fan standpoint, you want to root for the ethical hoops and all that stuff, but it's also, like, talent-wise, you got to pick talent every day of the week. Like, I've seen how the series has gone, but it also just seemed like they were like, oh, Haliburton's hurt, we can just not really care and maybe win, and then they realized, like, oh, we have to still try.
Yeah.
I feel like when they have played at home, too, like, the games they played at home, they've been insanely good.
I think they've lost 2 or 3 games at home this whole playoffs.
Yeah, exactly. And the one game they lost was like a huge fourth quarter collapse in Game 1.
Pacers got hard work though, bro. And you know what they
Hard
say
work
about
beats
hard
talent
work
when
and
talent fails to work hard.
You know what they say.
That is fact. Shout out to KD Thunderstruck. But for me, my dad has always told me this, and basketball is really the only sport where this is true, is that the better team is going to win every time in a 7-game series. With football, it's a 1-game thing. With baseball, you say it all the time. Anything can happen in baseball, whoever's hot at the right time. But my dad's always told me the better team will always win in a 7-game series. You'll always know who the better team is. But obviously, talent-wise, OKC is the better team. We've seen it.
Still running with Pacers.
I'm running with the Pacers.
I'm running
Because
with Pacers.
basketball is not how it's been the last, whatever years. This is a different team. These two teams are the deepest in the playoffs, and I think the Pacers are going to come out, and TJ McConnell and Miles Turner are going to lead the way for the Pacers.
I'm with
in
that.
7.
I'm with
also,
that.
if it's a close game, we know who to get the ball to in the clutch. I trust Haliburton in the clutch more than I trust SGA.
If this finals ends in a buzzer beater, like, that's actually, oh my
that.
gosh.
Imagine if it goes overtime, too. If it goes overtime, like...
buzzer
Double
beater.
OT,
Double
176, 175.
Like, storyline
Storyline's crazy.
If Haliburton were to hit a game winner,
Oh, my
I
God.
think I'd probably cry.
Yeah,
That'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would.
No, yeah.
It
I
would
would,
be peak
you'll
basketball.
see a video of me with tears in my eyes.
Me and everybody else in SAC will see at the Tower Bridge.
Yeah, facts.
Shout out Tyrese, man.
I'll see
all
at the
right.
bottom, actually.
All right, Luke, you going Pacers.
Pacers, baby.
Devin, I know you're going with Indiana. You've been rocking with them all playoffs.
I'm keeping up the
Watch
pace.
them switch it. Watch them
cut
switch it
that.
up.
Yeah, for Game 7, I'm switching up.
Give me the Rockets. Yeah, Pacers. Come on.
Okay, well,
Stop playing.
3-1. Hopefully the Pacers can do it, man.
Let's do it.
It's going to be a crazy Game 7. Sad that I work.
Sad that I work.
I'm so
Jackson will
upset
be
that
on
I
a
work.
plane. You
I will be
work.
30,000 feet in the air.
Going to Spain.
Call
You're going
out.
to Spain. Call out? I know, dude. I really should.
You could eat something bad tonight,
Yeah.
and then wake up with the bad
Is that
stuff.
Raleigh,
Hey,
bro?
we're on document though.
That is
so-
Raleigh fingers.
Shout
right
out
there.
Raleigh.
Shout out
My
Raleigh.
bad.
I'm
He's so
I'm documented right here though. They could catch me red-handed.
Oh, no. See, don't post this until...
Cut this. Well, hopefully I don't see the score at work and I can watch the recording.
I hope
but-
so.
You know they gonna come into... Pause. You know they gonna come in at work, they gonna be like,
Tyler, did you see that?
like Shams, like you the other day.
Yeah.
That was so funny when you said that. I
What?
feel like Shams breaking the news to
I
everybody.
did, because all Giants fans at work, no one knew that the Devers trade happened yet, so had to, put them on.
They gonna do you the other way, wrong pause. Sorry, damn.
Pauses are crazy. Yeah, well, Luke's Talk of the Week. Let's get on to it.
We talked about him already. TJ McConnell. TJ.
Put
Only
on the
right.
city.
Addict.
It's only right.
Over the last 2 games, that's what I'm counting right now. 15 points per game, 6.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 3 steals, averaging 23 minutes per game. Doing all that in
Play him
23
more.
minutes per game. Honestly,
insane.
don't play him more. Just do that. He gets more
Yeah.
action in that little amount of time. Honestly,
Use it all, yeah.
use it all right there. Perfect energy guy to come off the bench, especially when Tyrese is hurt right now. I don't think there's anybody who could come in and help him out and give him that support that he needs right now.
Yeah.
Menace everywhere he steps on the court. Like you said before, he can guard every 5 positions that he needs to. And I mean, I just wish we could have someone like here in Sac.
Hopefully we will one
Got
day.
a few people like that.
Keon Ellis is our next TJ.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, well, it's crazy to see that he's officially graduated from the ICU category to the Luke's Lock of the Week category.
Yeah.
He's really a star, man.
He's a star.
He's graduated. From being ICU, the underrated guy, no, he's Luke's Lock of the Week because he's a
Luke's Lock
star
of the
player. He's the best player on the floor when he steps out there, every time.
Shout out
Laser
TJ.
beam
He's,
pointed at
what I
Earth.
also wrote is he's a more polished Jose Alvarado.
Oh, yeah.
Just like
More
like
offensive
that.
bag, I like that.
every
That's
fan is a
crazy.
way like every time they're inbounding, any team is inbounding the ball now. You got to make sure. All right, where's TJ at?
Yeah.
All right, he's on the bench. All right, cool. I could pass it. All right.
Now
Yeah,
he's faking being on
that's-
the bench. You got to.
And then I also have since it's the last game of the season, I have a Luke's leg day coming up. I have a
Put on.
Is this gonna make me
I
money?
have a little
bro?
parlay. Yeah, I threw some money down, and hopefully I get a little bag.
I'll put
for
it in
Garrett.
right now.
So, TJ McConnell, need you to have 2 free throws. Not made, just attempted.
Oh, okay.
He just needs to get
He
the
don't
line
make him
once.
too. His dad got on him after missing
then,
those first 2 last game. You saw that? His
Mr.
dad- shout out to
Benedict
his dad.
Matherin. Benedict Matherin. I need over 11.5 points, rebounds, and assists
Oh, that's-
for this game.
Need it. If he shows up, they're
And
dangerous.
What
he
is
can
his
grab
on?
the rebounds and he can grab the points. He's at 7 and 8. Like, he can do that per game. And then I feel like he might be one of those guys, like Jackson says. He might be one of those role players that can pop off and hit a few threes.
What
Oh.
app is this on?
That's
This is a prize picks for you.
Prize Picks.
I got it. Let me
Use
get it
code
downloaded real
Luke
quick.
Lock of the Week.
It's not sponsored yet. Hit us up, prize picks. After that, J-Dub.
J-Dub.
Need
Under.
two 3-pointers over 1.5.
Count me out.
I think he's gonna hit that. Just because he went 0 for 4 this last game, he's gonna go back home. He hit 4 or 5 in that game before when he hit 40. I think he's gonna hit at least 2 here at home.
He's
for
not
this,
a real shooter.
He's not a real shooter.
No, I'm playing. He
but
is.
he's a winner,
He's a bucket.
and he's a bucket.
I gotta stop hating on J-Dub.
SGA. This was a gimme just for prize picks. Thank you. I only need 1 point from you, SGA. Just 1 point.
Under.
Just 1 point.
I was literally gonna blow his knee the first quarter.
Pascal. Pascal, you are going to be the man for the Pacers this
I
game.
can see
I
it.
need you over 20 points.
Okay.
Yeah, 20 and
Goddamn
I
right.
need you at 21.
Okay.
Yeah, over 20 points.
Happening.
And then Hartenstein. Just make 1 free throw. Just 1 free throw.
Could get iffy there. I do like it though.
Yeah.
Luke's Leg Day.
So Luke's Leg Day, you put $15 down on this on the power play. You walk away with $585.
Ooh.
$15
That's
for
a bag.
$585.
That's a bag.
6 leg parlay. Luke's Lock of the Week. Brought to you by Hardmire
Is that
Wines.
gonna hit? I just downloaded Prize Picks.
You got to do it now. This is the last one of the season.
Well,
Alright, I'm gonna ride you. Pause.
you just keep going with it.
He's on a roll.
He's on
right
a
now.
roll the last 2 weeks. Well, I'm going ICU. This is a weird one. I wanted to stay on the topic of role players going crazy in Game 7, and I saw a post that posted all the random role players who have went crazy in any Game 7, not the finals, just any playoff Game 7. I wonder if you guys can guess who I'm going with here. Kings old player. I'm not going to say legend, because he's kind of hated in Sacramento now.
Buddy Hield.
No.
Harrison.
He did go
Barnes.
crazy in a Game 7. He never went crazy. He probably went 0 for 10 in a Game 7. This guy was on Atlanta, playing against Philadelphia.
Kevin
Herter.
Oh, the
Oh my
38,
God.
28 or 27, I think, in Game 7 to beat Philly. I love Kevin
That's
Herter at
what
that
I was
point.
literally holding on
Yeah.
to that, like when he was bad.
Yeah.
After the Beam Team year, I was
He
like,
went
bro,
crazy
but
in
that
Game
38
7.
in Game 7.
That 28 in Game 7, man. He could do it.
That pissed me off.
But yeah, that made the Kings want to pick him up. I'm pretty sure they got him the next year.
Yeah.
So shout
We
out to
traded a
Kev.
first round pick. The pick that you got right now.
That's what happens when you go crazy in a Game 7. He was cooking that game, him and Trae Young. So shout out to Kevin Herter. That's my ICU pick. Game 7, Atlanta. Wish he could have brought that over in Game 7 against the Warriors
That's
that
real
year,
red
but
velvet.
he did
Yeesh.
not.
I just had a quick one. It
Shout out Red
was Obi. Obi with the 20
Definitely
ball off the
deserved,
bench.
yeah.
I just wanted to. Yeah.
20 ball off the bench, man. Leading scorer. He was lighting it up.
Yeah.
4 of 7 from 3. Crazy. But yeah, we can move on. The NBA draft is Wednesday.
'Tis here.
I wanted to do a mock draft. I wanted to get Jackson in on a mock draft because I know you're pretty locked into the draft. But we will be doing that Wednesday. We'll be doing a mock draft.
I'm down with that.
Before the actual draft. Do
I
a
will
mock draft
say
live on the
I
radio.
have no idea. I'm gonna need to touch up on my on these college ballers.
Just throw some randoms in there. You might get some right.
Caitlin Clark.
But I wanted to go over some of the Kings last draft picks. Obviously, we know not very successful.
Do that.
Well,
Why?
2018. Shout out to the rapper Marvin Bagley, second overall in 2018, picked over Luka Doncic. So
I actually
obviously-
played him in 2K the other day.
You played against Marvin Bagley? Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
He
No.
popped up in the game. I was playing against him in the rec.
In the rec?
Yeah.
Did you cook him?
Yeah, we won by like 25.
Bro, that's
Marvin.
so many celebrities be on the record.
That's
It's crazy.
crazy.
Shout out to
Getting
2K.
Maybe not a shout out to Marv. He's getting flamed for that rap song that he dropped. Every single comment I see on it, and it's not even that bad of a song, but when you're 6'11", like I think
Drafted
that's
over Luka.
yeah. All the comments are saying this guy was really drafted over Luka, but you know they talked about it on numbers on the board. There's kind of got to be a cutoff for if you want to be a rapper, how tall you can be. 2 Chainz is about 6'5". That might be the cutoff. Marvin Bagley, you're 6'11". Like, come on, bro, get in the lab. Get in the lab.
Get in
You're not
the
playing
lab.
on the Wizards. And you're out here making rap songs.
I'm trying to think about like tall rappers right now. I can't really think of that.
I mean, there's not anyone over 6'5" that you can really think of that's crazy. So the cutoff might be 6'5". That's all I'm saying.
tall rappers.
Tall
Get
rappers.
that shit out of here.
All right. Yeah, go get in the damn lab, Marvin. Come on. Well, 2017, De'Aaron Fox, 5th overall. Good pick.
Our last good pick
Yeah.
ever.
We can
I mean,
move on.
besides Keegan.
Keegan was a good pick.
Yeah.
Keegan definitely was a good pick. Moving on, 2016, 13th overall, Papianis.
Dude,
Probably the worst pick
dog.
on this whole draft.
Did he even play in the NBA?
yeah.
Dude, he played a
He
couple
played
games.
with us for a few seasons. A couple
Maybe
seasons.
one.
Oh,
I think
that
it was just
was
2 seasons, right?
1 or 2. Not a lot.
That
Yeah.
is a
George's Papianis.
Was not a good
13th
pick.
overall.
And we also had the 28th pick in this draft and got Scal Labissiere. Hey, he was better than Papianis. I wasn't too mad at Scal. Still in the league,
Still in the
I
league.
guess. Kinda. He's only played on the Sacramento Kings in
Why
the
are we
NBA.
doing this?
That's what I was just about to say. Tyler. Why are we doing this?
I just wanted to go over and see if we have any faith going into this draft.
No.
2015, Willie Cauley signed 6th overall.
This is my favorite run right here, guys.
This is
Hey,
your
Willie
favorite.
Willie had a good run, bro. I ain't
Did
gonna
he?
cap. I ain't gonna cap. He
For like
averaged like
1
15
year?
for like a year.
I was pissed at this draft.
I was not happy.
I was
with
pissed.
it.
We had DeMarcus.
2015.
We needed a guard.
Hey, we
Who
were
was it,
really
Vic?
like way ahead of the
I
game,
just-
thinking 2 big lineup. Like we were so far ahead of the game.
Moutier was
2015
just wasn't
available.
Is that Devin Booker's draft? 2015?
Oh yeah, Booker
Yeah.
and Moutier were available.
I don't care about Moody. I
Moutier
should have took
but like
D
Booker was
Moutier.
available.
Moody.
Hey, he was nice for like a year.
He was. Shout out. Well, 2014, Sauce Castillo, Nick Stauskas, 8th overall. The next Clay and Steph combined into one player. Shout out to Vivek. That definitely
Don't
didn't happen.
ever shout him out.
All right, well, Ben McLemore, 2013, 7th overall. This is my favorite player.
Shout out Ben McLemore.
My favorite player on this whole list that I made is Ben McLemore.
The nicest jumpers
Yeah.
out there.
I love his jumper, man. I thought he was going to be. You know who reminds me of Ben McLemore is Benedict Mathurin. That's who I wanted Ben
Yes.
McLemore to be. They have a nice jumper, very
I like that.
athletic, can dunk on people. But no, Ben McLemore.
Shout out that one game against the Nets when he was in the Lakers. He like
He
6
should've
in
won
fact, he was a shooter on the Lakers.
Uh-huh.
They should have won the dunk contest against John Wall.
Should have won that. I was watching that on
Wasn't that the year it was like a team dunk contest or something?
No.
Was that the other year?
That was a different year, yeah.
That shit was so wet.
That was lame. In 2012, this was a little before our time. I wasn't too locked into the draft. I was 10. We were 10 years old at this point. But my brother, I remember my dad getting on my brother about this draft for years, and my brother claims I wasn't a fan of him. But my dad says before the draft, my brother was like, "This guy's going to be a stud." Thomas Robinson, 5th overall. 5th overall in 2012. Thomas Robinson.
remember
Shout out
that name.
T-Rob. He
When
was
they
on.
had DeMarcus and Jason Thompson.
Shout out
Jason Thompson was supposed to be a dog.
He
man.
was,
He
man.
was a
King's
dog.
legend.
Hey, that's the
man.
longest
He
tenured
was.
Sacramento King, bro.
ever, right?
Nah,
Yeah.
Barnes was.
Ooh,
No, I think
Barnes who?
I think Jason
Jason
Thompson
Barnes.
has played the most games.
No,
as a
no, no.
Sacramento
At the
King.
time, he was.
Oh, I thought he played because.
No,
No,
not
he wasn't there
Yeah,
that
no.
Oh.
I meant
Jason
like,
Thompson was
he's
there for
played-
like 15
He
years.
has most
Oh, yeah,
career
he
games
was. He
He
was
played.
was there for like 15
Yeah.
years, going crazy, averaging a cool 8 points and 8 rebounds. Shout out to JT.
Next to DeMarcus.
Next to DeMarcus,
we were ahead of the game, bro.
his midi jumper was pretty nice.
This conversation is not making me happy right now.
And the last guy on the list, we can end it here. 2011, Jimmer Fredette, 10th overall. Shout out to
Good
Jimmer,
pick.
man.
Good
Good
pick.
pick.
To be fair, we all thought he was gonna be a stud, bro.
Yeah.
I remember seeing him at BYU when I was a kid. I was
Bro.
like, damn, this guy can
Them
fuck the
Steph
ball.
Curry, who? This is Jimmer
He just
Fredette.
announced his retirement too from basketball.
Oh, he was going
I'm
crazy in the
never-
3v3
Like early
league.
this year, he retired.
I'm never drafting a white guy from BYU in any sport, bro. Jimmer, Who was the other
Zach
one I was
Wilson?
thinking of? Zach Wilson. It's cooked, bro.
Cooked. Well, I think if Jimmer got drafted, say 10 years later in 2021, he would have been a star.
Like the game he would have played in.
I mean,
The game.
Steph was drafted
Yeah.
a few years before him, though. And
That is
panned
true.
out well.
Hey, Steph was
That is true. They gave him the keys,
all
man.
right.
They
Steph
gave him
was
the
the leader,
keys.
bro.
They gave Steph the keys. They didn't give Jimmer the keys. Nothing. He barely was playing.
It was
I remember
the script.
It was the script. I remember one game I saw. It was Bulls Kings, and what I do remember about this game is Jimmer had over 20, going crazy. Thought he was going to be a star, but also the Kings had Derek Williams. Shout out D. Will.
Oh, yeah.
He tried
13.
It was a close game in like the second quarter, and Derek Williams on the fast break by himself. Throws the ball off the
Lob
glass,
to himself.
tries to dunk it, misses the dunk. Or he didn't even
remember
catch
that
the ball,
clip.
actually.
I know
I was
exactly
at the
that
game with amazing seats of that game, so I was right there for
Oh.
that. But that was one of Jimmer's best games. Also, DJ Augustine and Jimmer got into it that game. So I hated DJ Augustine from that point forward.
It was
Shout out to
really
him.
I swear Kirk Heinrich was a starting point
Oh,
guard.
Kirk
for them.
Heinrich was on that team for sure, yeah.
damn it.
Yeah.
It was really Jimmer range before it was Curry.
It was Jimmer range.
Jimmer D.
It was Jimmer deep. It
Come
still
on,
is.
bro.
Still is Jimmer deep. But yeah, so anything else on the draft or trades? I'm still predicting DeMar DeRozan to Miami for Duncan Robinson and Jaime Jaquez and the 20th pick in the draft. Send it my way.
DeMar
I'm
DeRozan
on
to
board.
Houston for Dylan Brooks and number 10 pick.
You literally
I mean,
get that
wait.
done.
Yeah, I would, but Houston would never do
Get that the
Why
absolute
would Houston do that?
out of
They've
my
been talking
face.
about it.
Dylan Brooks is a positive asset for them, and then they also are trading the 10th pick for DeMar, who doesn't fit
They
that
need
team at
scoring.
all.
They need some more scoring a little bit.
If they don't
tried
get
to show on
KD.
defense.
No, I did see this. I
No,
think
they don't
this
need
is
it.
if they
I
don't,
just
if
want
they
Dylan
can't get
Brooks. I
KD.
I
kind of just
don't.
want him.
If they
I
can't
would like
get
Dylan
KD.
Brooks.
God damn it. Just get
Which is the same thing
Dylan
with the
Brooks
Heat. If they
and
can't get
D'Lo.
KD,
Call it a day.
they want DeMar.
It's whoever doesn't get KD's getting DeMar.
Yeah, basically.
Pretty much.
Miami, you're probably getting DeMar DeRozan
Or
because
Houston.
KD is not. Dude, I don't think they give up the 10th pick though.
Give them
Why
Dylan
not?
Brooks
They already
Miami.
have all the assets they need right now. They don't need to draft
That's
them.
true.
Young guy.
Miami.
That is true.
Give
huh?
KD to
They
Miami.
need, like-
No.
Send him east.
Yeah, facts.
I
but
feel
that's
like
not happening.
I feel like DeMar would help out, not just as like the defense doesn't really help out, but as a vet and the scoring wise and everything, it would help out everything else in that organization right now.
I'm not mad at it, but I just don't think Houston would do it. That's my only pushback on it. I don't think. Also, the 10th pick though, that means like because Dylan Brooks is kind of viewed as like
One of the
I
better
hate to
defensive
say
players.
it, maybe a higher trade value than DeMar DeRozan, and it sucks to say that
I mean,
because
I
we all
don't
know
think-
DeMar is way better.
I don't
But
think the rest of the league looks at it.
trade
though, that
value,
way.
I kind of do. I
don't
think
know.
Dylan Brooks is a valuable asset.
Dylan Brooks was all defensive second team like 2 years ago.
They don't want to get rid of him. I don't think.
That's the thing. Is like he is a
Unless
he
it's
is a
KD.
very
They also
very
already
good
have
defender.
Amen Thompson and Tari Eason. Their defensive
That's
abilities
facts.
are
Yeah.
also
That's facts. Man, I don't want Dylan Brooks. I want Tari Eason, man.
they're
That's
not
who
gonna
I
give
want.
that. They're
I
not
know.
gonna give
That's
that
like
up.
my dream player for the Kings is Tari Eason.
I feel like Dylan Brooks would, as much as I
want
mean,
De'Aaron Fox.
I used to hit on Dylan
I want
Brooks.
Haliburton.
I used to hit on Dylan Brooks a little bit, but like I actually really respect
Yeah,
his ball.
I respect his game.
Like, so if we get that for DeMar plus the pick, I would
Yeah.
not be
If
angry
we
at all.
employ Dylan Brooks, you will not see another cent from me spent on the Kings organization. I swear to God.
I don't know. I mean, I think he's
I will cop that jersey
a
immediately.
Dylan Brooks jersey.
Only Kings
Honestly,
are
I'll think about it.
Well, okay. Also, Kings fans on Reddit are going crazy. I saw something today. Ty Jerome predicted to leave Cavaliers for the Kings.
I mean,
I love
that'd be
it.
cool.
It's not happening.
He had a very very
Yeah.
bad postseason.
It's not happening. He's a free agent, and someone has to pay him. The
That's
Kings
why
don't
they're
have money to
that's
pay
why
him.
they're on Reddit.
Yeah.
Stop letting Reddit
Exactly.
send you notifications.
Well,
bro.
also something else is that since the Mavs are going to draft Cooper Flagg, we can trade for PJ Washington. Would we be down?
should have did that 2.5 years ago.
Yeah,
when he
facts.
was very low trade value.
Yeah.
I watched bro come to Sacramento and
like,
literally
go
drop
crazy.
30. Like I was
Yeah.
at that game,
Yeah.
and it was right when all those talks were going on, and I was like, yeah, I want him.
Yeah.
He's nice.
Yeah, nice.
He nice.
Nice.
Well, the Kings have been listening to trade offers from a bunch of other NBA teams, and Scott Perry is just gathering information about his new roster right now. That's a report that came out.
I mean,
He's gathering information about what he can get for certain guys, which I like.
I like it.
I think Scott Perry, he hasn't done a damn thing yet, but the reports that are coming out, I think he's going to make
I
some
like
good
that
moves.
he's taking more time than Monty and
Yeah.
Vivek ever took.
He would have never
to
traded
do
for Zach
stuff.
LaVine. That's what I think he never
I
would have
think
traded for
that,
Zach
yeah.
LaVine.
I'm hoping he has a Buster Posey first 6 months of his job.
facts.
Like first 6 to 8
Make
months.
some amazing moves. My one wish, let's all give one wish for the Kings going into this draft day, is to trade into the top 20 any way you can. Trade into the top 20 and get Walter Clayton.
We talking about by the end of the
Walter Clayton
season?
on the Kings? That would be tough.
Keys to the offense, yeah.
He would be around 20th, projected in the draft too. I would 100% on board with Walter Clayton.
I don't know. Just get to the playoffs.
No, one wish for the draft night.
Oh, the draft night. Oh, okay.
Obviously, yeah. But
draft night. Shoot.
who do you want traded?
I think I still kind of like the
Trade DeMar
the New Orleans?
the DeMar for
Oh.
MPJ and was that it?
Yeah.
Was it DeMar
I don't
for
think we
MPJ?
get a draft
I
pick that
want
one,
the
but
Houston. I want the Houston.
you
pick
want the 10th?
and
Well,
Dylan Brooks or one of the other, or not the other. I would like the 10th pick for DeMar.
Yeah, honestly,
I would do that for
don't
sure.
You don't even need to give us Dylan Brooks,
Like-
bro. Just
yeah.
take his salary
And
and
then
give me the 10th pick.
Take the salary, and then we could extend Laravia, right?
But I know that is true, but that's why Dylan Brooks is not just a salary filler guy. He's a main part of that team.
Yeah, he
that's
would be
why
a
the
main
Rockets
part.
wouldn't give him up like
Yeah.
that, unless it's for like KD. That's my opinion. Is that they probably won't
like
trade
I
you
him.
don't
said,
think
if
he's
you
in the
don't
package
get
for
KD.
KD. Their KD package
It's
is like
for
Jalen.
Jabari.
It's like
No,
Jalen.
Jalen's not getting traded. I
They
don't
put him in
think
there.
Jabari and
Jalen
no.
Green's the main guy. on the
Jabari
package.
and Dylan
For
have been
KD,
the main
yeah.
one.
Why would Phoenix do that? They have Devin Booker.
I don't know.
Exactly. They just want all shooting guards in their lineup.
No, Houston's offering Jalen Green.
I know.
The
Phoenix.
Suns don't want him.
That's what I'm saying,
They
yeah.
want Jabari and they want Amin or Tari Easton or
Smart.
Sengun or whoever. And
Smart.
I'm like, yeah, makes sense to
Makes
me.
sense to me too.
Rockets should give up Jabari, dude.
Yeah.
Like if they're
He's-
offering him, like
Amin starting. You know,
Dylan Brooks.
Jabari will
Tatum might
do
as well
very
do it,
well in a
dude.
different place,
Yeah.
but he's not going to be what anybody thought he was going to be even close to that if he stays there.
No, facts. Because it seemed like when he went down with the injury and then they put Amen in the starting lineup, they kind of took off. And
Amen's
then
gonna
Jabari
be
came back.
He is the main
No,
guy.
I know he's going to start, but he could play 1 through 4. He could start 1 through 4.
Oh, yeah,
you could play
100%.
him, but Jabari's more of a 4 or 5. And they have Sengun, so obviously he's not going to play the 5.
If they trade Brooks, then it gets
Then he would
interesting.
start, yeah.
But I think Brooks adds a very good element to that starting lineup.
I agree. And culture-wise, he kind of, I'm not going to say he started the culture for Houston over there with the feistiness, but he definitely adds to it. We saw what happened with Memphis when they got rid of him. They lost that whole identity.
Dude, Memphis isn't a shitter.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I
What to
mean,
say?
wouldn't be too mad. But I did see a Kings fan on Instagram say his perfect off-season or whatever trade night, draft night is the Kings to trade to New Orleans that we brought up last time. I don't know how you feel about it. The trading Domas and Dev Carter for the 7th pick, DeJounte Murray,
Yes,
and
please.
Herb Jones.
Yes, please.
And then they
We're not going
also...
over this again.
So then,
you're
then they said the Kings would have the 7th
You're
pick,
insane.
and they wanted to draft the guy from Duke, Maluach, the center.
Malbach,
Is that how you say it? Yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Whatever, yeah, that guy who's pretty
The
good
Jazz are looking to trade back to that.
to get him.
Yeah, that's what they said. If they trade Kessler, that's their biggest thing they're looking at.
Yeah, well, for the Kings guy, he said do that trade, draft the Maluach or whatever at 7, and then trade to Miami, DeMar, and for Duncan Robinson, Jaime Jaquez in the 20th pick, and then draft Walter Clayton at 20. And I was like, damn, that would be nice. I don't love the guy from Duke, though. I don't love, Malbach or whatever.
The only thing is really because of the physical nature. Of
Yeah,
him.
he's just tall. I don't think he's
7'2" with a
skilled
crazy
at all.
wingspan. Well, he's more polished than what Derek Lively was coming out of college. is what
Derek
everybody
Lively was
says.
only good with Luka.
He only.
God, bonus
he's still a
strength.
very good defensive player.
Yeah, defensive, yeah.
He's
That's
not
kinda
one,
what you need
he's
out of
not
your
one of the
center,
strongest players in the league,
Who?
like DeMar or like Sabonis.
Who?
No, whatever his name
Oh,
is.
yeah, he's strong.
Sabonis is one of the strongest players in the league. I don't know why we would give him up, dude.
Let's go young,
Because
bro.
we
Let's go
suck.
young.
He is young.
No, he's not.
Because Sabonis
28.
Pushing 30.
excels
28.
so well at a few things that makes him a star, but then in the playoffs it gets exploited every single time.
Facts.
He hasn't been in the playoffs.
Because you can
yet.
guard, like Dev
He's been
said.
there one time,
Multiple times.
One time for
But
us.
with Indy, he wasn't
with-
good in the playoffs, right?
No, he wasn't.
See?
That
He wasn't good in
different.
Yeah.
Different time.
playing
That's another
counts.
different time.
Playing
He was
counts
playing the
for
4.
He's playing the 4, and then
Different.
also playing against
But that's-
LeBron too. He played against LeBron.
He did play against Bron.
playing counts for me as well.
Yeah,
No.
Like the last
was
2
bugged.
years in the play-in.
No. Because DeMar, if playing counted, then DeMar would be past it. Because DeMar's the playing fucking
And
god.
Jonas. Shout out Jonas.
And Jonas.
Okay, well, Jackson, what's your take on that trade?
Buns, bro.
He's not Buns.
Domas and Dev Carter.
You guys are
for
buying into the propaganda of Buns Sabonis because man has been all-star caliber for the past 3 years, and everybody here in Sacramento has been like, "Oh, he's an all-star, he's an all-star," and then now you guys are like,
I'm not.
I don't think he's
I'm
an
not
all-star.
saying he's Buns.
He's still a very good
saying-
player. He just needs a specific team around him to still be,
And
for
I
them
think
to
we
be a
can
good
definitely
team.
provide him with that because the team that we had was providing for De'Aaron Fox. Now we got to pivot.
Were they
Pivot.
providing for De'Aaron Fox?
We did.
We
what
signed Damar,
Yeah.
that we thought.
What?
This whole
well,
team. This whole
weirdest
team.
trade.
Was
That's why
for,
we have a whole new front office.
Yeah.
The whole
Yeah.
team was for De'Aaron Fox, and it's gone.
Yeah.
Was it the
Yeah.
3-point guards they drafted 3 years in a row after they had him? And
Who should we have gotten over Devin Carter? Dalton?
Probably.
That's
yeah,
why
probably
I said.
Or-
we already had
Herb.
Herb.
Or Missy.
didn't the
Yves Missy.
Yeah.
Or
didn't Khalil Ware
Bro,
go after
Jeremy
McCain?
Kane.
I wanted Khalil Ware.
You-
That's who we
you've
should
been
have
saying
Or
that,
Jeremy
yeah.
McCain.
Jeremy McCain.
would
Yeah,
have been
it was 16, 17,
exactly what we
18 where the
Yeah.
McCain Connect and Missy.
Yeah, I would have liked McCain for sure.
McCain would have been
And he's from
nice.
Sac. Like, bro,
At the
how do you
moment,
miss
I would
that?
have been
Jalen
mad
Wells.
again because they drafted another
Facts.
guard. But if they were still going to trade De'Aaron, then it would have been nice to have Jared McCain.
That would have been perfect to
Yeah.
fall back on. We'd
For
be
sure,
looking
yeah.
completely differently at the Kings' future. But yeah, I want to know what you think about the trade though for Domas and Devin Carter for the 7th pick, Herb Jones and DeJounte Murray. If you're the Kings, are you saying yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm offloading. I mean, Sabonis
Offloading
is great.
crazy. Offloading is
Sabonis
crazy.
he's good, but he just doesn't fit their timeline anymore.
We gotta go
There's
young,
no
in
way
my
to
opinion.
retain him and then build a team around him.
He's
I
not young,
agree
but he's
with-
not old.
I agree with what you're saying. He is good, and the team has to be like perfect around him. If we draft a young point guard, like they're not going to be good right away.
Yeah, that's the
So
thing.
we're going to sit here and waste 3 more years of Domas
it's
when
that
we
long.
could get good value right now. If
Yeah.
we could get that for him right now, we're not getting anything better than that in the next 2 years if we're still ass and
Dude,
we're
we're
like,
not
we
doing
gotta
anything.
trade
As
Domas.
long as Zach LaVine's on our team, we're not doing anything right.
I can agree with that.
You're not
That's
wrong.
like-
That's
so
why there's a
shout
whole
out Young
even if
Hollywood.
even if we have Domas, like even if we get rid of him, we still have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's taking up too much of an issue for this team, so we're not going to improve at all if we get rid of Domas.
You're not.
I
I
think.
want all 3 of them gone. You're not wrong. I will
No,
trade
you're
all
not wrong
3
at
of
all
them
about
right
that.
now.
I think our best case scenario is stick with them right now, and then Domas is going to be done in like a couple of years with us. Like, I think wait until that.
His trade
And then-
value's only going to
But
go
I'd
down.
see. Is he
we're
gonna
not going to be able to get anything from him. I
done?
don't think
Do
right
you
now.
We
mean
can
his
get 7th
contract's
pick.
going to be up, or we're going to trade him
don't
for
think
less
that-
than what we could get right now?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't think the Pelicans are going to take that trade.
Scott Perry, please save us in Sacramento. We need
Please.
you, man. We need you, please.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
That's
a
also one
good
thing.
point
I don't
too.
think the Pelicans would even take that.
I don't know.
Nah,
That's a
they
good
wouldn't-
point
they
too.
wouldn't take
Yeah.
They're not trading
They
Herb
got
Jones.
Zion, and why would they
They
trade?
That's
said
a
everybody's
stopper.
available on the team besides Zion for trade.
That's
Every person on the team is
If we can
available.
get Herb Jones or Trey Murphy, I'm
Trey
doing it in a
Murphy,
heartbeat.
they said Trey Murphy. Fuck. God damn it. Sorry.
He's available for what? He's available for a player who can contribute on in the playoffs right now. That's the bonus, kinda. And then a young player, Devin Carter, and they said something else. And they said
Young player with potential.
and they said like 2 first-round picks or something like that, which is
You guys
crazy
have to
for Trey
listen to
Murphy.
this. Not
No.
really, bro. Dude,
No,
he's,
he's
a
tough.
dog.
I love
For
him,
Trey
but
Murphy,
He might be better than Ingram.
Damn, that's facts.
I'm not saying. I mean, realistically,
You like Ingram too?
I do like Ingram.
Yeah.
He can shoot from wherever on the floor. He's a freak athlete.
Shout out
His defense,
Shoot that,
coming into the
Ingram.
league was solid. He's just kind of gotten away from it. He's been on the Pelicans for the last couple of years.
right
Yeah.
now for Trey Murphy, I would throw Keegan in there.
Keegan?
Yeah,
Wait,
I'll try
what?
Keegan for Trey
Did I
Murphy.
just hear that right? I mean, you're not actually crazy to say
not
that. Trey
ridiculous to
Murphy's
say
better
that.
than
It is
Keegan.
Wait,
not
with the
ridiculous to say
package?
that.
At every aspect
Not
of
with
the game.
Domas, but like if you could center a package around Keegan with like Carter, the
I'm
same
not
thing,
trading any
and
more
maybe a
picks right
pick.
now. We need
No,
picks.
please, yeah. And we need to keep
but
some of our
if
young
you,
assets.
but see that would probably, if you were gonna trade Domas and Devin without picks, that would probably get you more like Keegan would be more valuable than Domas. in
Keegan's
my
definitely
opinion.
probably the most valuable trade asset on the team right
Yeah,
now.
like not saying I
100%.
want it,
Keon.
but if it was
Or
for Trey
Keon.
Murphy, bro, I'd do that shit right now.
I've also heard the Toronto Raptors want to make a trade
Ingram.
with the Kings
Yeah.
for Malik, for
RJ.
Sabonis, for someone. So expect something with the Raptors.
For Sabonis?
I know, right? Why?
That's such a weird trade.
I don't know what the Raptors.
Ingram, Scotty Barnes, and Sabonis is like
So mid.
it's fucking
So mid. All right, well, almost been an hour, so it's time to close out. Yeah. All right, let's
Are we
close
going
out.
to do the next section?
No, that's it. We're closing out.
my bad.
Beef City Sports. Go subscribe on YouTube. Listen on Spotify. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday live on the radio for our mock draft. Let's go Pacers Game 7. Let's get it, baby.
Cheers.
Yes, sir.